GameCube Index, and this week the system achieves a milestone. When the GameCube launched in November of 2001, it released with a good number of sports games. Only one of these happened to be a baseball title, and for months, if you had a GameCube and needed to scratch that baseball itch, All-Star Baseball 2002 was your only option. Luckily for baseball game fans, that exclusivity would be broken only 3 months later on February 25th, 2002 by the sequel, All-Star Baseball 2003. ASP 2003 was the very first game to be released for the GameCube that was a sequel to a title that was previously released on the GameCube. The most astounding thing about this is, again, it only came out 3 months later. When we revisited ASP 2002 way back in episode 6, we found that the title did not age very well. It was evident that the game suffered from being ported late to a new console, and the most it had going for it was an empty marketplace. This time around, let's see how ASP 2003 compares to its predecessor. The standard game modes you'd expect to see have returned, such as All-Star Game, Exhibition, and Home Run Derby, and this year there's a good number of additions. New to the game are Franchise Mode, which allows you to build your favorite team and play them through 20 consecutive seasons, as well as Expansion Play, where you can choose a city, stadium, and team logo for your new team and get them into the major leagues. Another new feature is Trading Cards, which are literally virtual trading cards of 500 of your favorite players, earned by redeeming points accrued in the game. You can even trade your cards with the Game Boy Advance version of All-Star Baseball 2003 using the Nintendo GameCube Game Boy Advance link cable. There's also a new trivia game which allows you to test your knowledge of classic and, at the time, current baseball trivia. As far as how the game plays, it's remarkably nicer than its predecessor. Graphically, the game looks years ahead due to the new 3D cyberscan technology used to give the characters the most realistic faces possible at the time. The character models overall even look much nicer. You can even see the folds in the player's pants. The aesthetics of the game were further improved with the first ever inclusion of a 3-man broadcast booth featuring the voices of Bob Brenly, Tom Brenneman, and Steve Lyons. At the end of a season, there will even be an award ceremony which features everyone that you know and love, including the Cy Young Award, MVP, and Silver Sluggers. The game will even track the number of awards that members of your team have won over the course of the franchise history, which helps wrap the title up in a nice package. All-Star Baseball 2003 is not without its issues, however, the biggest of which fall on the fact that the batting and pitching interfaces are relatively the same as the previous title. There is also the memory card issue. If the player wishes to save during mid-season in expansion or franchise modes, the game requires at least 151 blocks of data. This becomes an issue as it makes the option completely impossible for players with a 59-block memory card, and it's even pushing it for the upgraded size cards, since it's still an entire memory card. This feature is really only recommended for hardcore players who really want to invest their time into running the best team they can. All in all, for being the first sequel to a previous GCN title, All-Star Baseball 2003 did well at building off of what players enjoyed about the previous title. There was only one more All-Star Baseball title released on the GameCube, so we will be revisiting the series one last time in a couple hundred episodes. That is it for this week's episode of GameCube Index. If you enjoy the videos every week, consider backing us on Patreon. Even $1 a month will do a lot to support the project and help improve the experience. It's entirely up to you. Either way, please continue to show your support by subscribing, sharing, following along on Twitter at GCNdex and at GCNdex.com. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next time when we fulfill the dreams of dirt bike owners everywhere in Jeremy McGrath's Supercross world.